go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Charline, and welcome to Lunch with the Finance
Yes,
Bunch.
indeed.
How you doing over there, Matthew?
I'm doing really, really good. I'm excited for today's show right now.
Me too. We have in our studio
A special
a
guest.
special guest by the name of Rachel Gomez. Right?
Hola.
Hi.
Hola, boo.
I even love the way she opened up. You know what? I like you, Rachel.
Oh, thank you.
Rachel is the creator of a clothing brand and line called Viva La Bonita, right?
Yes.
Did I say that right?
You did. Said it perfectly.
You know what? I said this off. I'm totally off script now, but I have to say this. I love your Instagram.
Thank you.
It is so beautifully, the way you have it laid out, all the colors, all the sayings, it's so beautiful.
Thank you.
Everyone should go to your Instagram, you know, for not only to purchase your clothes, but for inspiration, because it's just very inspirational.
Yeah, and also to get to know the Latina culture.
Exactly. Exactly.
That's
And
the
I
biggest
think
thing.
that's the biggest thing for me is that it's so culturally rich. You know, it really is. I told Matthew, I was like, Matt, look at her nails. They even have the saints on them. I love that. Yeah, and you have some T-shirts that I kind of like too. I don't know if I could wear them outside, but I want them.
Yeah,
I
you
want
can,
them.
girl. Own it. It's all about confidence.
You know, it's not even that. I think I'm a little older. And so, you know, people might be
Girl.
like, girl, if you don't go somewhere and
That
sit
don't
down.
matter.
Women
That don't matter.
empowerment has no age.
Okay, well, hey, I'm buying them then. That's it. You'll be
Just
seeing
flip
me
your hair,
sporty.
Char.
It's like- So now this is your first time on our show.
Welcome, welcome.
Welcome.
Thank you. I'm excited.
And you know what? You are a wonderful entrepreneur. And we want to know, what is Viva La Bonita? What is that?
Oh man. All right. Viva La Bonita it's a brand that I created, influenced by the Latina lifestyle.
Okay.
I wanted to build a brand that really focused on not so much a look. I never wanted to create a look with my brand. I wanted to create a feeling. So
Yes.
Viva La Bonita is just that Latina women empowerment brand, you know, and in recent times, I noticed that my brand was actually connecting with women outside of the Latina culture.
Oh, of course.
Because the foundation of it is women empowerment.
Yes.
So it started off as just a t-shirt brand. And now I believe it's evolved into a platform to speak to women on self-acceptance and self-love and appreciate the culture.
Yes.
And yeah, that's pretty much what Viva La Bonita is. It's a platform where you can come, learn about the Latina culture, feel good, and we provide merchandise that will help you set the tone
Exactly.
to dominate your days.
That's what's up. I'm all about feeling good too. So shout out to Viva La Bonita.
Thank you.
Now, where did that name come from? Like, I looked at it and I know what it means, I think. Well, you tell me what it means. I don't want to mess up and not look smart.
Yeah, well, bonita is beautiful in Spanish. And one thing that I learned growing up, I was raised by my grandmother, and she encompassed hard work and sacrifice, and she's so resilient. And to me, that's what makes her beautiful.
Right.
And that's one thing that, my grandparents always taught me was, it's not all about the pretty face.
Yes.
You got to bring something else to the table.
That's right.
What are you going to bring to the table that nobody else brings to the table?
Right.
And that's confidence. Confidence in yourself. Love yourself. Accept yourself. God made you who you are. This is who you are. Make it worth it.
Yes.
So when I was creating this brand, I'm like, wow, there wasn't many brands that were speaking to, the Latina culture, and then really mainly about the women empowerment side.
Yes.
So I was like, well, I'm going to create t-shirts that, have the word bonita, because I believe that women, when they're doing what they love, you're the most beautiful.
Yes.
It shows in your face. It shows in your attitude, the way that you present yourself. I feel like your mannerisms change, the way you speak. There's just a beauty that comes from doing what you love. And I was like, wow, let's create a line that's based off of the beauty of empowerment.
Yeah, and I love the way you connect beauty with power, and also to make sure that people are confident, women are confident. because you can be beautiful and powerful, but that doesn't mean you're confident. You know, so I liked how you connected three together.
Definitely, because one thing that I got from your Instagram and from your images is like all the women and models that you use, you can tell that they like feel confident in their own skin.
Yeah, and the cool thing about that is that the girls that I've actually partnered with and have modeled for me were never models before.
Oh,
wow.
Nice.
And the reason why I wanted to do that was because I wanted to reach out to girls that I felt like had a common ground, you know, with my community of women that I have. And I feel like the brand has also invited and kind of it also shows girls like you don't have to be this supermodel. You don't have to meet all these crazy expectations that, you know, the world has created for you. If you just want to do something, do it. And that's exactly what happened with the girls that I reached out to through Instagram. I just reached out to them. A few of them were my customers.
How nice.
And then
nice.
a few of them were just connected through mutual friends. And I'm like, girl, let's just do it. And they were like, I've never modeled before. And I'm like, it's cool. Like
So what?
Let's do it anyway.
We'll just get dressed cute, put on good makeup, and go.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Like, I like that. I like this.
Oh,
jacket.
thank you.
I noticed that too. I'm going to be shopping afterwards. We'll talk.
Now, a question that I have for you is: was fashion something that you were always passionate about before you started your line?
No. I think in high school, stemming from junior high, that's when I started to find myself. I was pretty creative. I always loved like putting things together.
Okay.
And I remember my senior year, I had lost my grandfather, and college kind of didn't become an option for me in my household.
Okay.
So my grandma's like, look, you know, you gotta go to work. You have
Right.
to figure out, you know, how to help me be the backbone of this house. So I'm like, okay, so my first thing was, okay, I need to get a job in high school, my senior year. Let's go to the mall. So I applied for Wet Seal. That was my first job.
Okay.
And it was like a junior's contemporary store.
Yes, it was.
And I feel like I've always been like fashion is, I guess, something that I am attracted to, but I fell in love with the business of it and the branding, you know, and I really learned that. I think I was 19 when I got my first promotion to becoming a manager in retail. And I started to learn like how you tell a story through how you dress people. Like, you know, I'm like dealing with these customers and like, oh, I'm going on a first date. And I'm like, okay, well, you have to wear this jacket because this jacket's going to make you feel this way. This tells you, you know, this tells your personality this way. This is going to set the tone for the night. So I started realizing like, wow, I'm passionate about storytelling and branding and creating a feeling versus the actual like,
I hear
clothing.
you. I can tell how excited you got about it. I'm like, you're out here trying to make sure people are living their best lives.
yes.
Now, with your movement, do you find that women reach out and try to find you who are the creator? Because I know you said, you know, I like kind of being in the background and not really being up front. But people do you find that people try to seek you out to see who you are, the person who is creating this brand?
I would say now, this year more than ever, yes.
Okay.
I think people want to know. 2017 was a very impactful year for our brand.
Okay.
That's when we, you know, reached new levels of, you know, exposure. We got PR. We got our clothing on some pretty influential people. So I feel like, you know, we reached a whole new level of, you know, of a community of women. So I think this year they came into it like, who is behind this brand?
Right.
Like, I want to get to know who this girl is. Yeah. And, you know, my fiance had told me, I think you need to start putting yourself out there to show these girls that you are a Latina. Like, you are living the lifestyle that you're preaching. You know, you're a mom. So also empower women through that just because you have a child doesn't mean that your dreams
have to stop.
are over. So, yeah, I recently started putting myself out a little bit more on the brand. And I think that now the brand is really connecting more on a personal level with these girls.
And you have a little boy, don't you?
I do.
He is adorable.
He's the cutest baby in the world.
So now, becoming a mom, what has that had done for you as far as you're an entrepreneur and now you have a little baby? How do you juggle all of that?
I think when I became a mom, as cheesy as it sounds, but I turned into a warrior. Like, nothing scares me. I'm like, if I was able to create life inside of me and bring a human into this world,
That's true.
there is nothing that I can't do.
That's right.
You know?
I love that.
Balancing, work life and mom life, it's not impossible. It's just harder. And that's one thing that I like to preach to girls.
Yes.
If you have kids, it doesn't become impossible. Things just get a little bit harder, but that doesn't mean you can't do it. I feel like my son gives me those extra hours that I need, throughout my day. I've sacrificed a lot of sleep. That's what I tell a lot of these girls. If you do have a family and you do want to start something,
know that you're
just
not going to
get
sleep
ready.
much. That's
Yeah, just get ready for a lifestyle change. That's really what it is. You don't need 8 hours of sleep. Being
Right.
sleepy isn't going to kill you.
That's right.
And that's what I tell girls.
I don't know. It might kill me. I need my 8 hours.
No, but that's true because, I'm a single mom and my kids are grown now. But when they were children, I just had to sacrifice sleep for the greater goal,
I
And-
appreciate you, Ma.
Oh, thank you, Matthew.
Me cortisone.
But you do,
Yeah.
And then one day your son will be, an adult.
Yeah.
It
yeah.
happens that fast.
No, it happens really fast.
Yeah.
And also, I never understood that whole, saying that, is out there that it takes a village to raise a kid.
Yes,
And
it does.
we've been blessed to have an amazing family who not only supports, my dreams and my goals and my plans, but they love my son. So it's always like a constant fight. Like, well, I want to take care of him today. No, he should sleep over at my house today. And I'm like, okay, so I have the help and I'm so thankful for that. And I never want to take them for granted or also give them credit. But there were those moments where, you have to do it alone. There's
Yes.
days where I'm like, you know what? I'm not working all day today because my baby, but 11 o'clock p.m., that's when my work day was starting. And I had to mentally tell myself, like, I'm working today from 11 to 4 a.m. and my baby wakes up in 3 hours.
And
I
just
got to do what I have to
it.
do.
God bless you.
Wow.
Yeah, thank you. So it's
Well,
a lifestyle change for sure.
But it's working for you. So when we come back, we're going to talk more about the lifestyle, that cute little boy of yours, and all the things that you're involved in. I'm Charline, and this is Lunch with the Finance Bunch.
Yes, indeed. On Dash Talk Radio.
Yes, and we will be right back. Good afternoon. This is Charline, and we are back on Lunch with the Finance Bunch with Rachel Gomez.
Yes, indeed.
Wow, she's the creator of Viva La Bonita, right?
Yes.
A clothing brand. So
I love saying the phrase too, by the way.
say it again, Matthew.
Viva La Bonita.
Ooh.
My Spanish is pretty good, yeah.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. But you know what? We wanted to really find out about you, the entrepreneur, because we see your beautiful brand and we see all the beautiful images that you create and the story that you tell. So what we'd like to know is what do you say is the voice of your clothing brand?
The voice of Viva La Bonita is that voice that I've created to encourage women to be the greatest version of themselves.
Okay.
No matter where you're at in life, one thing that I like to tell women is accept yourself, forgive yourself. You are in this present moment. It is what it is, but that doesn't mean that defines you.
Right.
And I think that, Viva La Bonita is that voice that is just encouraging women. And, it was started as specifically speaking to the Latina women. But in recent times, I discovered that the brand was reaching out outside of the Latina culture.
Yeah, well, when the brand is strong, when the message is strong, it transcends cultures and it speaks to women, no matter what their ethnic background is.
Yeah.
Because it's a powerful message.
Indeed.
Yeah, and that's one thing that I've learned about my customers is we're all so different, but our common ground is passion and hard work.
Yes.
And I think that's the message that we're putting out. It doesn't matter who you are, where you come from. If you're passionate and you're hardworking, just go for it.
Yeah. Now, I saw something on your Instagram. I'm going to read it. It says, if anyone told you it's easy to be an entrepreneur, they lied. Right? That was on there.
Absolutely.
And I cracked up laughing 'cause
They sure did.
it is not easy. It is not easy. So what do you desire to accomplish as an entrepreneur?
I want to continue building, this platform to help women. I created this platform that I think that I felt I needed at a very hard, point in my life, where I wish there was a brand to tell me, like, listen, you are who you are right now. Things happened for you, or things happened to you because they happened. That was just in God's plan. But that's not going to break you, So through, the Viva La Bonita brand, I feel like my mission is to become that woman that's going to help push you, push you to the next step. And, to me, it's like, I know that I have a very strong, growing community of women. So to me, it doesn't scare me to sacrifice time, personal time. It doesn't scare me to sacrifice time with my son, because I know that all this motivation and change or help that I potentially will have with one person, even if it's a one person, that's going to also shape my son's future.
Yeah. And when you raise your kids in that environment, they adapt and they grow with it. That's something Matthew, I think, can speak to, because, him being the son of mine and all the crazy things and that I do. Matt, what do you think about that?
You.
Like how, like when you have a parent who, is a full-time parent, but also a full-time entrepreneur or has a job, or what does that look like for?
For me, I think that it's like inspiring, because especially like when you get to see the success from the fruits of all your labor, I think that it's really dope. But also too, I don't know, sometimes like I think like when you're really young and then you start growing up, it's kind of just like, wow, mom is superwoman. She does everything. It's like she has a job, she's an entrepreneur, she's cooking, she's like, going to my games, like doing everything here on. So I just think that it just like really pushes you to that that you have somebody like in your house to know that like whatever you put your mind to, you're able to attack and do it.
I like that. See, so we're doing good.
I hope that my son understands, it's like, just respect women.
Yeah, that too. I think that is it becomes self-evident, because when you make sure that people respect you, he will see that and he will respect women too.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So true.
Wow, we got a lot of golden nuggets here. Now, do you ever see yourself like as an inspirational speaker? Because I see that in you. With the platform, standing in front of a bunch of women and just talking, and you see yourself doing that?
Did I know that Viva La Bonita was going to turn into this inspirational platform?
Yes.
I did not know that. I had an idea and I was like, okay, this is going to be a cool t-shirt brand. And then, it started evolving into that platform, and all those captions, all those concepts that I create, those are all my thoughts and my feelings. So I was like, okay, so if the girls are connecting with that, they're connecting with me, and it came with the territory. Like, I think I now have to, service that community and put myself out there and open. Like, we opened our workspace in February.
I saw that.
And we had our first Mujeres Can Do Anything panel. And my goal for that was to not invite you so that you could hear me talk about myself. Like, no, I want you to come and I want to be able to answer questions that you have, teach you things that I've done to build my brand.
Yes.
The things that I did to build my brand aren't a secret,
Right.
And a lot of people were coming up to me afterwards saying, wow, like I've reached out to people that I think could mentor me and they don't want to help me, but you actually, talked about the tools that I needed or the steps that I needed to take to start my brand. I even told people, depending, like this girl wanted to start her boutique. I even told her where to go buy wholesale merchandise. And she's like, nobody's ever told me that.
No, because especially in the fashion world, like it's so secretive because it's so competitive. So it's like nobody wants to give each other like different jewels or even like a competitive edge to compete sometimes.
Yeah. And that's the crazy. I don't understand that.
There's room for everyone.
There's room for everyone. And I always tell people, look, me telling you, giving you the tools and kind of being your tour guide, that's not going to make me, shine any less.
That's absolutely right.
What matters is your story. So I tell people that's the challenging part. You got to create a story for your product.
Yes.
You got to create the branding for your product. That's the hard part. That's where I can't help you.
Right.
Because it has to come from within. But I never want to be that person who is like, oh no, well, I'm not going to help you because it's my time.
Right. And I got to shine so you can't shine too.
Yeah.
I love that. I love the fact that you have not only your brand displayed so beautifully, but that the thought process behind it is inclusion, is to be inclusive and to help others to get to where they want to go too. Because there's room for everyone at the top. And when you don't have that only me mentality, you'll rise even faster.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
This is Charline, and this is Lunch with the Finance Bunch, and we will be right back with
tuned.
more with Rachel Gomez. This is Charline with Lunch with the Finance Bunch, and we're back.
Welcome back, y'all.
Yes, we had a nice little in-between when we were talking about Viva La Bonita. It makes you feel good.
Oh, definitely. I'm definitely getting in touch with my Latin roots right now.
Yeah.
Viva La
Right. Viva La
Bonita
Bonita.
forever.
Right.
Woo.
Yes.
You see it. It's real, y'all.
See, that's going to be your new thing,
Yeah,
huh?
I know, seriously.
Now, talk to us about your workshops, because you have now workshops, and tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so the Mujeres Can Do Anything workshop idea came to me this year. I think it's always been in the back of my head where I want to open up my space and also, introduce people to the more personal side of the brand and for women to get to know me too. Because if you're supporting my brand, then I need to support you and support your dreams, So we had our first Mujeres Can Do Anything panel in February with the idea to teach people like how to start your brand. I had a fashion influencer. She was also with me on the panel, and she talked about the importance of content creating and learning how to create your own content, learning how to shoot your own pictures. So I think by having her on the content side and then having me on the business side, people were taking notes. Like, that's how you launch a brand.
100%, because it's definitely a two-headed monster, because you definitely need both, because you can have the best product in the world, but if you don't know how to market and advertise it to the people and draw that connection,
It's not going anywhere.
it's not going anywhere.
Yeah, one of my examples is the different brands of water. Water is water, but there's so many different companies that have water bottles, and you buy water bottles because of maybe the branding that the bottle has or the story that company is building, like Pepsi and Coke.
Right.
So that's what, we talked a lot about that in the panel. Again, it was more, we're not going to talk about ourselves. You guys can find out who we are on Instagram.
Right.
This is an opportunity. We have 2 hours to sit and talk with you guys to really teach you guys how to get to, where we're at now. And we got a really good reaction. I was looking at the video content or the video footage of the panel, like a few days later, and I saw that everybody was taking notes. Everybody was super engaged. Like everybody, you could tell, was like reacting to the things that we were saying. And I'm like, okay, we have something here. And
definitely.
Yeah, we had girls coming up to us afterwards and being like, I got so much information today. Like I'm overwhelmed, but I'm so excited to go home and start something.
Because it's not what you learn in school. You are the product of success that they want to follow, so they can create their own success, you know.
But not only that, like what she was piggyback off of Rachel is like a lot of that information once you're in the fashion industry. I went to fashion school. Like they don't teach you like that type of information that you need to connect the dots with like how to get your business running.
Right.
It's like you learn certain information from a book, but the rest is just kind of like you have to hit the ground running and figure out for yourself. And then when you go to like different manufacturing warehouses or production companies, sometimes it's like you're just running around in circles trying to figure out, okay, like what fabrics do I need? Where can I get this? If I need to go to a dye house, or like there's just so many different channels that like you're just running around in circles. So her giving away this information and for free is like absolutely amazing.
Absolutely. Yeah. Because I think too, on the entrepreneurial side, we're in a time when being an entrepreneur is becoming almost a necessity. Sure, there are doctors, lawyers, accountants, and those types of jobs too. And then there are the people who support those. And I'm not knocking any of that. But you also need to equip yourself so that, everyone out there isn't a doctor. Everyone isn't an attorney. Everyone isn't an accountant. Some of us just are completely talented in other areas. And to have someone like you who can highlight this area of it is amazing. And like Matt said, to give it away so that young ladies and men too can come and sit and learn and then take what they need away from that and to be able to build a business on it, that is awesome.
Yeah. Thank
That
you.
is completely awesome.
I'm telling you, I might be at your next workshop, Rachel, while you're playing.
Taking notes.
Taking notes. Viva La Bonita.
Right, Viva La Bonita. It's for men too. Yeah, we're going to do the Viva La Bonita.
Exactly.
Viva La Bonita.
Woo, 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 woo. Telling you.
Heck yeah. Now, what was your biggest break you would say about Viva La Bonita? When did you think, okay, we've had our big break? When did that happen?
Aside from getting our merchandise on these influential personalities, that was part of it, but I don't think that's what made me feel like I made it. I think when I started seeing, I mean, obviously we saw the business grow, but it wouldn't be until last year we were vending at Smorgasburg. It's like this food festival that they have every Sunday in downtown, and they curated like a vendor market. So they had invited Viva La Bonita to vend. And I'm like, sure, why not? Let's do it. We had scoped out, the event the week before, and I was like, oh my gosh, like my demographic is not here.
Okay.
I don't know, let's just do it. All right, Latina brand at Smorgasburg. Let's see how it plays out.
Yes.
And we promoted it on our social media. And here comes Sunday, the day we're vending. And at 10 o'clock a.m., we had a crowd already. And it was our customers.
Okay.
And they were like, we've never been here, but like, we knew you were going to be here. This is so cool. Like, thank you for exposing this to us. And then as the day went on, I started seeing like people outside the Latina community coming to the booth. And they were like, this is so cool. Like, they were connecting with our story.
Yes.
I even had an older Mexican lady come with her granddaughter. And she was like, my granddaughter loves this brand. And she's like looking through our stuff. And one of my sayings on my products is being a chingona is exhausting.
Yeah.
So the word chingona, in the in the Latina community, it was kind of a word that was like, looked down upon. It was like untasteful to say, but the way that we've reinterpreted the word, like we've kind of reclaimed the word with, through the Viva La Bonita brand, that means be badass, be unapologetic,
Yes.
Be yourself. Take control of your life. Yeah. And this lady, the grandmother came up to me and she's like, I just want to tell you that I really appreciate you turning this word into something positive.
Wow.
Because growing up, I would call my granddaughters, be a chingona, like, handle it, own it, and it's nice to see a brand put it to light and bring positivity to it. So in that moment, I'm like, wow, I'm like connecting with not only my community, like they really showed up and came out to downtown LA on a Sunday, but I'm connecting with grandparents. I'm connecting with moms. I'm connecting. I had, some Asian girls come up to the booth. I'm connecting with them. Like, it's just, I feel like the brand was reaching just women. And I was like, you guys, like, I think we're doing what we were on a mission to do. And that was, that moment where I was like, okay, like, I better not mess this up.
Now, who inspires you?
My grandmother, first and foremost.
Shouts out to Rachel's grandmother.
Yeah.
By the way.
Hi,
Yes.
We love you.
What's her name? We got to say it on the radio.
Margarita.
Hi, Margarita.
Oh, she is bae for real.
Yeah,
I like her babe.
my grandmother inspires me a lot. I had my mom up until I was 12. My mom passed away when I was 12 years old. But I would say the women in my house is who inspired me. Okay. We all lived together. My mom and my aunt, they were sisters. We all lived in the same house, and I had my grandma and I had my grandpa. My grandpa was a feminist. Like, he respected women. Like,
That's cool.
he just really was
All right,
really.
shouts out to grandpa too.
Yeah, because you know what? That's not the norm. Like, especially for older men that are of any people of color. That's just not usually the norm. So that's cool.
Yeah. My grandpa really, really respected my grandma. And I saw how, he put her on a pedestal, but because she was hardworking. You know, she helped build the home. She kept the home together. You know, when my grandpa had to take time off of work for health reasons, like without hesitation, my grandma went to work and my grandpa stayed home. Yeah. So I feel like having such a heavy, influential, like just women like based home.
Yeah. Strong women
really inspired me to create this brand and also just teach me who I am. They kind of, you know, made me into who I was. And aside from my family, like my customers, my bonitas, they inspire me.
Yes.
You know, I follow them and I tell them, I follow you girls back. I try to follow everyone back, but I'm looking on your timeline, like I'm liking pictures and I'm getting to know you because I'm designing for you. Like this brand is for you. This brand is not for me. It's for you. And they keep me inspired. They keep me going.
I love that.
Yeah.
And with that, we'll be right back because we're going to play some games. I see Matthew over there looking at me side-eyed because there's some questions we want to ask you in a little lighter atmosphere to see what you say.
Taking over, Rachel. It's my time.
It's the Matthew takeover. This is Charline with Lunch with the Finance Bunch on Dash Talk Radio. And
we'll be back.
I'm Charline, and welcome back to Lunch with the Finance Bunch. And we have Viva La Bonita in the house.
Yes, indeed.
Rachel Gomez is in the
house. So the game that I want to play it's called What's the Word? So I'm just going to throw out one word or a couple of words, and you tell me the first thing that comes to your mind when I say the word.
Oh, my God.
Don't worry. It's no pressure.
No pressure.
It's no pressure. Okay, we'll make it really easy and start it off with Viva La Bonita. What's the first thing that comes to your mind?
Women.
Woo woo. Okay, fashion.
A feeling.
Grandparents.
Love.
Mi amor. Financial planning.
Ugh. Scary.
How about social media?
Exhausting.
Creating a legacy.
Success.
La familia.
My heart.
Okay. No more pressure. We're done with the game. You survived. What's the word?
Now, we have a balance sheet that we do also. She's like, oh, more?
I'm like, okay, I'm ready.
No mas.
So now, what is the most memorable check you've ever received? We don't have to know the amount unless you want to disclose that.
Unless you want to talk that stuff, Rachel, you know.
Especially if you want to share it with us because we'll take some. But what's your most memorable paycheck?
My most memorable paycheck had to be my first management salaried paycheck from retail because I think, you know, the circumstances that I faced being a senior in high school and seeing all my friends go off to college and then me having to just go to work, I think it was a little scary and I think I felt a little bit insecure about myself because I'm like, oh my gosh, like I'm kind of doing everything that your high school teachers told you not to do, you know, not going to college. Oh, don't get a retail job. Like retail jobs are like for uneducated people, you know? And I'm like, oh my gosh, like I fell into this world and I'm like, am I not worth something, you know? And I think that I owe it a lot to my managers, my mentors at Wet Seal, because they would tell me like, listen, this is a real job. You know, we are providing a service.
Yes.
We are making people feel good about themselves.
That's right.
Anytime that you're in the store working the fitting room or even just going up to somebody and smiling at them and saying hi to them, you made them feel good.
That's right.
You know,
that
you
has
have
value.
a purpose.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I think when I first got my paycheck, I worked so hard to be a manager and I'm in charge of, you know, teaching these girls to learn about management and learn on how to manage a store and how to take care of people. When I got that first paycheck, I'm like, okay, I have a purpose.
Yes.
Right.
You know, so that was like my big moment where I'm like, I'm going to be okay.
Validation.
Yeah.
Right. So now, is there anything you purchased that you regret?
Yes.
One thing.
One thing?
Just one.
Oh my gosh, could it just be like all the money on clothes that
That's
you know, and
that's one field, one subject. Okay.
Yeah.
I think we've all been a victim of that too.
Exactly.
Yeah, I would say that is my biggest regret.
Okay.
Because, you know, I want to always tell girls like the labels that you're wearing, that doesn't define you.
That's right.
You know, the pair of how many pairs of shoes doesn't define you.
Yeah.
What defines you is who you are within. And I wasted too much money on clothes, guys. Like,
That's the truth. Me too. I love you, Viva Bonita. I just, La Bonita, you're just my love.
It's funny now with your clothing line, with all the success that it's had over the years. Can you point out any like key pieces that were like your biggest sellers, or the ones that had like the most reactions to them, to where girls were like, "I love this"?
yes, my allergic to pendejadas collection.
Okay.
Which translates to just like allergic to stupidity, you know? And I think that was, you know, one of our most favorite and most appreciated collections that we came out with, because, you know, pendejadas is something that you hear a lot in the Hispanic households, you know, like, don't be a pendeja, meaning just, you know, don't make dumb choices.
Right.
And
I laughed so hard when I seen those
I did
T-shirts.
too.
I was like, "This is gold."
Yeah, because in Spanish, that was the first word I learned.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and when we put that out, like, I think, again, it created a feeling of yes, like that was kind of like our yes t-shirt. And I have guys wearing it, you know, I have, anytime we vend, guys will come up to the booth, and, you know, we do print our things on unisex t-shirts.
Yes.
And
Yo,
you do.
that was
They'll be
gonna be
like-
my next question, because I was like, I really need some of these T-shirts, and my girl will probably even need some of these T-shirts, because she was like, "Yes."
Yeah, so that was probably our most impactful, you know, piece was the
that.
allergic to pendejadas, because it's a mindset.
yes, it is. Definitely. Now, what does success mean to you?
Success means, to me, being in control of my own life.
Okay.
Being able to wake up every day now and, you know, I have a purpose. I'm serving this community of women. And I can do all that by still being with my son at any time that I want to be with him.
Okay.
That to me is success.
Yes. So now here's my next question. Are you successful?
Yes,
you are.
because, you know, the women that I continue to meet through the brand, I mean, sitting here and having this opportunity to meet someone like you, that's success to me. Being able to right now go pick up my son and take him with me to the office, that to me is being successful.
Yes.
It's just being around positivity and being around, you know, genuine good energy and love. That to me, I'm successful.
Wow. I love your answer. Now, if you hit the lottery, what would you do with the money?
Outside of hook me and Shar up.
Well, I think my dream would be I would probably want to start like a nonprofit for, you know, young girls, especially, you know, the women of color. And I think now more than ever, we need to empower the community of color, especially the women, and teach them that they are valuable, that they have a purpose in life. So I would want to have a nonprofit that was open to all ages, to prepare you to go to work, teach you how to ace an interview, build your resume, you know, teach you how to dress for interviews, how to manage your finances when, you know, like just a place for people to come and get help.
Yes, I love it. Now, I've loved this interview. You are amazing. And
Thank you.
how do people find you? How do they find your clothing? Where do we look? Where do we go?
Our IG, our Instagram is at Viva La Bonita. Our emails are in the contact button. You can find all of our clothing on vivalabonita.com. And those are the two places where you can find me. Instagram, and my email is on that contact list. So if you guys ever have questions, I'm the other person on that side of the IG, and I'm here to help.
Wow.
Yeah, so shop now.
Right. Please shop. And, you know, it's so nice to get to know you and just see the force behind the brand.
Thank you.
And it's been just a pleasure. And as things progress, this is an open invitation. You come back and let us know how you're doing. And we'll be watching on Instagram. And I'm going to be shopping. How about you, Matt?
I know we're all going to be in our matching T-shirts the next time you come up here.
Yes.
Exactly.
Love it.
Well, I'm Charline.
I'm God's gift, Matthew.
Ooh, and we got some tips for you today. Well, my tip for the day is before we let go, is that follow your dreams. And everyone's dreams don't always lead to college. And even if you thought they would and they didn't, take what you have, take the gifts God gave you, and work them. because Viva La Bonita. Rachel is working it, huh, Matthew?
Yes, indeed. So can we segue out by saying Viva La Bonita forever?
Viva La Bonita forever.
Indeed. Thank you so much. We had such a great time on today's show with Rachel. What did you feel about the show, Shar?
I thought it was amazing. Rachel, you are amazing. And like I said before, we definitely want you to come back and sit with us and let us know where things are with Viva La Bonita.
Exactly, because we're
Thank
definitely
you.
excited to grow with you.
Thank you.
I know I'm going
Definitely.
to have some of my teas. You going to have some of your teas, Shar?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm going to get a few, and I'm buying this jacket right here because I like that. All of that. I like it. I'm buying it.
All right, you guys, stay tuned, and we'll say in closing, goodbye and have a great week.
Tuesday at noon. We're
Tuesday
on
at
Dash
noon,
Talk
we're on
Radio.
Dash Talk
Tuesday
Radio.
at noon. Listen in.
Yes, indeed. Signing out, y'all.
Peace. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to Lunch with the Finance Bunch. I'm your host, Miss Charline, on Dash Talk Radio.
Tuesdays at noon. I'm God's gift.